probably tell by the typography of the bank behind me, this is the area known as the Quarry. It's Damflask Reservoir. It's a place that's only about 6 miles away from my home in Sheffield. It's an area I haven't fished here for years. I was still a kid when I last fished here. This area has kind of been rumoured to be the area where the larger, bigger, older bream live, and with it being the quarry, as you can imagine, it's quite deep. The water levels are down quite a bit today, as you can probably already tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be heading up here first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going to see if I can catch some big bream from this area. But to give myself a bit of a head start, I've come up now, I've got the fish finder. I'm going to get that out there just to give myself a bit of an idea of how deep it actually is, and if there are any ledges out there that I really need to be wary of tomorrow. So I'm going to get the fish finder out, see what the depths are like, and who knows, it might even highlight a few fish. Got that out there, it's about 20 metres. It's saying it's 7 metres deep. Don't really expect to be fishing that sort of range. I expect to be going a little bit further, so I'm just going to work my way out and see if there are any ledges, and just to see what the ultimate depth might be. Connect to the fish finder, just connect it. Hopefully you can see that alright, and the glare's not going to be spoiling it for you. So that's about 35 metres, I'd say. And what I've found is that the bottom is really quite flat out there. There are some fish out there, but that's to be expected. There we go, look, straight away it's 9 metres deep. There are 4 fish there, look, all at between 3 and 5.5 metres down. So there are some fish there, but again a long way off bottom. So I'm just going to retrieve it back slowly, and as I'm doing that, as you can see, the bottom is just flat, bang flat, 9.4 metres deep. Really flat there, which is obviously nice for fishing on. It's just starting to come up now, the green bits of vegetation, and look at it now, you can see it slowly coming shallower and shallower now. It's now up to 8 metres. I'm retrieving the sonar back, and as you can see, there's no sharp ledges there or anything. Really smooth incline, that, to be fair. Says it's showing some vegetation. Now into 4 metres deep, that's about 10 metres out now. So there's no ledges there, the fish there, but I mean that's by the by, tomorrow's a different day, but it's not highlighted any ledge whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is just cast it over that way, to the right a little bit, just to see if there are any ledges over that way. I've cast it out further purely because it's to the right. That's probably a good 50 metres, I'd say. So I'll just get this connected. Further to the right, that way, I don't know if there is more of a pronounced ledge that way, but I will have a quick look over there in a minute. Right, I've just been about 30 metres to my left. I'll move further over this way. The fish that we found were about 45 metres out, slightly to my left, but here is where I expect there to be a ledge, if there is one. To be fair, the ledge that they talk about could be very well just here in front of me, and when I fished it as a kid, it may have been because the water level was further back up that way. The ledge, this was the actual ledge, and it's not out there. So, but hopefully this will, by getting the ball out there, this will hopefully confirm that for us. Okay, so I've gone out about 40 metres there. .8 metres deep, so it's slightly deeper. There's a fish down there at 8 metres, but the main detail is that it's a flat bottom. Really happy with that session. It's really highlighted, but it's put one or two myths to bed. It looks like this is the ledge, the slope that people used to talk about. It's a very flat bottom out there. It's a decent casting range, between 40 and 50 metres. Yeah, it's definitely the spot I'm going to target early tomorrow morning. So yeah, can't wait to get on the bank now, so I'll see you in the morning. It's an absolute gorgeous day. 20 odd degrees on the van when we got here. It's just before 8 o'clock in the morning, so it looks like it's going to be like this all day. Plenty of midges and stuff flying around. You can see the spot I've picked. Obviously that's the main quarry bit. This is just on the edge of it. There's a lad fishing just over to my right, so he was already here when I got here. But I'm going to fish here. This is where I went out yesterday. 11 metres of water out there. It's 11 metres deep. Just got myself comfy on these rocks and stuff, which is easy to do with the kit that I've got. So yeah, I'm just going to get some rods out, have a look at what types of feeders I might be using, and have a look at the ground bait. I'm only going to be casting about 45 metres, but that's where I went out with a fish finder yesterday and found that it was 11 metres deep, and there was some fish there, albeit at half depth. For that reason I'm going to use a 3.6 metre rod. I think 12 foot's going to be easy to cast that sort of range. The wind's not bad or anything. I'm going to fish it with braid. I've got 010 submerged braid. I've got 8 metres, an 8 metre leader, which is 8 pound breaking strain. I'm going to fish it on a fixed rig. There was a bit of a ledge there yesterday, albeit close in, so I'm going to fish it with a fixed rig, just because that might help me get fish up and over that if I'm going to get any bites at all. It's just a nice simple fixed rig. I'll show you that down on the box. As you can see, it's still flat calm. Like I say, I'm going to be using a 12 foot rod, or 3.6 metre. It's the S class that I'm using. That's with a 5000 Aquas reel. I've got to tell you all this because I know a lot of you will be asking me what kind of kit I've used. 8 pound shot leader, and I'm using that on a fixed paternoster rig. It's just a dead simple paternoster rig. It's one that I use in Ireland and lot, and I've actually got a video of how to do this. I'll put the link below for you. It's probably one of my first videos, so it's a bit rough and ready, but it shows you how to make that rig. So I'll put that link below for you. I'm just going to fish with kick off with about a 70 centimetre hook length bait tray. I'm going to keep it really simple. The ground bait I've chose for today, I'm going to be using Special G green, but I've actually put some extra fish meal in there to give it an even stronger fish meal boost. I've got some dead reds, I've got a few casters. I mean, these are just only half a pint, that's all. The reason why I don't want to be feeding too many of these is I don't really want to be attracting too many small fish. I've got a feeling they've been catching small fish up here. I've seen 1 or 2 reports lately, so I'm going to stick to bigger baits. Worms, obviously, the old faithful. I'm also going to be putting some 2mm carp and coarse pellets through as well. I don't know if they see many pellets up here, but I'm going to give it a go, and that's going to be one of the baits as well. I'm going to be putting this in. I think it's a great base bait, is cornea. The feeder wise, I'm going to be fishing a plastic feeder because it's so deep. The grommets mix quite dry. That's obviously because I'm using it with a plastic feeder, not a cage. I'm going to kick off with a 45 gram version, and I'll just see how it goes from there. I'm just going to kick off with 2 pieces of worm. It's on a 14. A few bits of corn, a few casters, not many, and then there's some pellets under there as well. Get this out to 45 metres now. There's a bit of a breeze come now, but it shouldn't interfere too much. Wash. And that is going to take, let's give it a count, if you can see it. just at the bottom. 18 seconds. Fourth cast, I've just had a little indication that's a fish. Well, I think it's a fish. If it is, it's very small. It's probably going to be a little tiny perch. But at least it's an indication. It's the fifth cast. 2 pieces of worm. Yeah, it feels like a little perch. Oh no, no, it's a skimmer. Come on, we'll swing him, we'll swing him. Well, that's a good sign, isn't it? Fantastic, first fish. Whoop, sit still. Just hooked in the bottom lip. Lovely condition. Beautiful. It's a good start. Fifth cast, I think that was. 2 pieces of worm. Great, we're off and running. When I was a kid, I used to fish here loads. We used to come up on the bus, sometimes after school. Then we work weekends. My good mate David Revitt, and we used to come up on the bus. Used to run every 2 hours. It used to be a bit of a trek to the bus stop. We used to get on the bus, come up here, and oh, it was fantastic. You know, the bus used to run every 2 hours. We didn't carry as much kit back then, so we used to get the bus, get off there, get a day ticket, and then we used to walk right the way along the dam wall, right the way around, right the way up onto these match pegs here. Absolute madness, but when you're kids, you know, you'll do anything for a day's fishing. You're just doing what you think's best, and obviously we didn't carry the kit that we had back then. But yeah, great times. Well, we're a couple of hours in and I've still only got that one little skimmer. Last 2 casts I've put 4 dead reds on, and they've just been nipped at the end when I've reeled in, but I've not seen any indication. So all I'm going to do is, I think they're small fish, but all I'm going to do is just shorten the hook length right up. Well, the hook length there is 50 centimetres, so what I'm going to do is, because that's 50 centimetres, but then there's also about another 15 or 20 centimetres there, which is part of the paternoster rig. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to halve that, I think, take that down to 25 centimetres, just to see if we can find out what these fish are. I'll do some, just cut that off there. Just going to double it over to about there. Just going to loop that. I attach all my hook lengths loop to loop. That's it, done. That's much shorter now, so hopefully I'm going to turn those little tiny indications into fish. 4 heads. I'm putting a few reds in now as well, just to try and trigger some bites. Just don't want to sit here aimlessly for hours in case those bigger fish aren't there. We've had indications, so let's just see if we can find out what they are. We're about 3 hours in now and it's just not going anywhere. I've shortened that hook length, it's not made any difference. I've just had another little indication. There's definitely 1 or 2 fish there. My gut feeling is that they're small fish, but I've just had an indication there. It could have been a line bite, I don't know, but it definitely looked like a better fish kind of indication, if that makes sense. I was going to scale down in hook size. Still got a 14 on. But in my experience on these sorts of venues, sometimes scaling down just really doesn't make a lot of difference. I'm not going to go down that route just yet, but what I am going to do is, because I've been putting quite a bit of bait out there, I'm just going to scale the feeder down a little bit. Still keep a 40 gram on. That's the size that I've got on at the moment, and I'm going to step it down to that sort of size. Have a go with that and just put two single dead reds on. But the key thing now is I'm also going to introduce some chopped worm. I haven't done that at all, so when I bring this in, I'm going to start putting chopped worm through and just see if that triggers some fish. Lovely. Just put a full dendra on, full dendra and a dead red, and that's only been in about a minute, and I've hooked one. Doesn't feel a massive fish. I'm going to take my time with it, it might be the only one we get. Wasn't a big dendra, just one about, I don't know, 4 inch long maybe, but it was a complete dendra. Just tipped it off with a single dead red maggot, still on a 14. Just had a quick chat with the bailiff. He says that a few weeks ago he had about 15 bream just round to my right into the bay. But interestingly, he said that they all came on the drop. Typical scenario in this deep water, if they're up in the water, you've got a problem getting them down there. I mean, to be fair, this is probably not the right time of year to be doing this kind of a session, because 11 metres, the water's going to be pretty cold down there, and the fish are probably going to be sat at 7 metres or so like they were yesterday on the fish finder, but we're here. It's a test. Be interesting to see what this is. So a bit of a flash there, it looks like a skimmer. Or could it be a bream? There we go. Lovely, we've snared one. Not a massive fish, but that's the target. The target's been for bream, so that was the first cast on that hook bait. The hook's come out in the net. Fantastic condition fish. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Pop them in the net and see if there's some more waiting for us. A few dead reds, pinch of chopped worm, and that's all. I've cut back a little bit on the feed now, because like I said, I've been piling it in and there just might not be as many fish out there on. And I think I've just pulled off a fish. What is this? Do you know, I don't know if even know if I've hooked it. If I've hooked it, it's a really small fish. I pulled off something then. That was a really slow pull. It was almost like a liner. And I've hooked and pulled into something. Got a feeling I might have just pulled into into a fish that was possibly foul up then, because there was definite resistance then when I picked up, when I lifted up, there was definite resistance. There's no sign of the bait being touched. Pretty sure that was a big liner, but it could be anything in here. There could even be pike around the bait. Gonna get back out there, see if we can find it out. Nothing there. Just put a worm on and a piece of corn. Could have sworn that would be on that one. Just gone in with a full dendron, but I put a piece of corn on as well. A few little indications, and I've hooked one. Not a big fish, but I've fed half a tin of corn already today, and that might be what they're after. Skimmer, but it's the right species. Hook's well down. Really wanted that one. Tail, 4 dead red maggots on, slightly longer tail, and I've hooked the heaviest fish I've hooked all day. I don't know if it's hooked right or not. It's coming in really slow and dogged. Could be foul hooked, I don't know, it could be anything. I want to take my time with it for the camera. Mission accomplished. That's why we're here, to see if they live here. And it is old. I said, people told us that these were the older bream. Well, this one, it's got more character than Richard Vaughan. It's not a massive fish by any means, but it's certainly the best of the day. And I think the way it looks fits exactly what I was talking about the older fish being here. How about that for some character? Battered and bruised, but very, very welcome. Let's see if it's got some of its mates down there as well. Well, I went back out after that bream and had a bit of an indication. I thought it was a liner, there was nothing there. So I've gone back out, and within a minute I've had a better bite, and it feels like another skimmer. Could be about a pound and a half maybe. It's great we're getting a reaction now into the latter stages of the session, but it's just great to be getting a response. Yeah, little skimmer. Beautiful fish. Conditions fantastic. Hopefully they're going to switch on now and have a nice little run of fish. Well, after a couple more little indications on that cast, I just kind of sat my hands a little bit. Just tried to make sure that it developed properly, and I'm into what feels like a decent fish again. Not sure if it's as big as the other bream that we've got, but very, very welcome. Getting quite a few little indications. I think a lot of them are liners, I really do. Well, I said I'd love to stay until the light goes, and I really think that could be the best time to be fishing, to be fair. I was just about to start packing up and I put a piece of corn on, just a single piece, hooked normally, not on a hair rig or anything. And it's only been in about 3 minutes and the rod's just gone round nearly off the rest. Best bite of the day. Looks beautiful coming up in that clear water. Look at that. Fantastic, absolute over the moon with that one. Again, he's long, he's lean, and you can really see that he's got a few battle scars. Look at him. Look how long that is. Fantastic, brilliant fishing. Well, they took a while to come, but they've turned up. I've ended up with 4. I couldn't resist another cast after that third one that you saw me catch. But look at these are what we're talking about. These are the old QUARRY Bream, deep water. Just look at the marks and things on that. That's history. I ended up with 4 Bream, some small hand-sized skimmers as well, which was great, but I think it's getting better now. I really wish I could stay longer, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to go, but that's what we came for. Old QUARRY Bream, fantastic, exciting fishing, and that's why we love these venues. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, just click subscribe below, you'll be kept in the loop with all future videos. There's loads more coming. Thanks for watching. Love about these sorts of places, they're unpredictable.